She's the friend who'll show up with coffee or wine when you need it most. But probably wine. Good vibes are on the way. Welcome to Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency.
Hi, welcome back to Erin O'Malley's Feel Good Frequency. I'm Erin. It is so great to have you here. So, for the last couple months, I have been trying to get this woman on the Feel Good Frequency because I love what she has done. And believe it or not, she's only been doing this for not even a year. And it's made national news for all the right reasons. She is making the world a better place. She has found a team of incredible women who are helping her with this project. It is called the Lost Stuffy Project. Think back to when you were a kiddo. There's a very good chance that you had a stuffed animal that you loved and you dragged with you everywhere. If you traveled, that thing came with you. When you went to sleep, it was always next to your pillow. And when tragedy strikes, when there's fires, floods, hurricanes, many families go without their home, without everything that they owned. And for kids, that stuffy often gets destroyed as well. And this wonderful woman came up with an idea to reunite kids with their lost stuffed animal, the exact match to the one that was taken through whatever kind of disaster happened. And man, has it grown in popularity so much since she started this in January that it's now an official nonprofit. She's got a board of directors. She's been interviewed by lots of different news channels. She's been on Good Morning America. And now I am so honored to have her on the Feel Good Frequency. This is Randi Jaffe. So I am here with somebody that I have wanted to talk to for a couple months now, and she's super busy. And when you find out what she's been doing, you'll understand why it took a while to hook up with this wonderful woman. Randi Jaffe, the founder and CEO of Lost Stuffy Project. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Erin. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, thanks for taking time out of your day to do this because I've been in awe of you for a while, ever since I saw what you were doing to help. I think it was the California wildfires that you started with to help families out there. Is that where this project began?
Yeah, so I live in New Jersey. I have really nothing to do with California. I was just devastated, like everyone else, thinking about what was happening there. And I found myself thinking, what would I grab if my house was on fire? And it was my 3-year-old son's tiny little stuffed animal that has no tag on it. I have no idea where it's from. And it dawned on me that not only do these kids who've lost their homes, communities, schools, not only are they going through that trauma, but they don't have their comfort item that is familiar and comforting to them. They don't have that because that's probably also been destroyed in the fire.
Yeah.
So it made me think, how could I figure out a way to reunite these kids with their stuffed animals to bring them some comfort during this awful time?
Oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful idea. And you know, when you think about it, it's like, wow, that's kind of a simple thought. Maybe I could just go on Amazon and buy a couple things. But then, of course, it's like, wait a minute, there's probably a lot of children who are not having their comfort item and who have lost things that they would really love to have again. So how did it happen that you went from this really kind idea into an actual nonprofit?
Erin, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't, I think it's the power of the internet. The day that I had that idea, I created an Instagram account, and I don't know how or why, or maybe we can chalk it up to the algorithm, but the Instagram page got extremely popular extremely quickly, and donations started pouring in. We weren't even looking for donations or asking for donations. And then all of a sudden, people from around the country just wanted to be a part of this, and they wanted to feel connected to what was happening in California and helping children and families specifically. So it just kind of took off from there. And then kind of word got out, and we had families telling other families, telling neighbors. And we kept asking them, please tell everyone you know who's been affected that we're here to help. And it kind of just began that way. And then From there have been other like individual house fires and floods that we've helped those specific families. And then, of course, in July with the horrible flooding in Texas, that kind of ramped up all of, we had a lot of work to do with that as well. And it kind of just feels like any major catastrophe or natural disaster, we're going to be there and we're going to be supporting and helping and doing everything we can to support these families. So it's kind of this really weird time, like in between, like I know there's a terrible hurricane right now in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And is there something we could be doing there? So in terms of the growth of the organization, I think that's really happened because people want to help during these catastrophic events. And somehow, some way they found Lost Stuffy Project. I couldn't tell you how. Yeah, so it's giving people a really like easy, tangible way to feel a part of this greater purpose of helping kids and families.
I think what's so great and how it ties us all together is that almost everyone had some kind of stuffed animal that they were attached to as a kid. I mean, my sister will kill me for saying this, but she brought hers to college. I mean, it's not with her in the marital bed now, apparently. I joked about that at her wedding reception. But we all have something that we grew up with. I had a blankie that I dragged everywhere, and that's so relatable. I think maybe that was part of it. Did you have something like that? Can you remember when you were a kid? Did you have a little stuffed animal that you loved?
I didn't have a stuffed animal. I had a doll, PJ Sparkles, that I really loved. And I had my baby blanket. And my grandpa had actually worked for like a textile company. And my sisters and I all had baby blankets from his company. And over the years, it was, got smaller and smaller and smaller. And then eventually it ended up, all the little pieces of it just ended up like in a pillowcase.
Yep.
So that's kind of where it is now. But yes, I certainly had a comfort item that if it had been lost when I was a child, it would have definitely been a significant and a big deal.
It's a simple idea of, okay, does anybody have this? If you can't find it on Amazon or you can't find it in a store or anything, then you go out on your Instagram page, which has over 45,000 followers. I mean, people really want to help with this. And then, hey, and if you go there right now, I was looking through some of the things that you're looking for earlier today, and it's so sweet to see. I'm looking for this little teddy bear. Does anybody have it anywhere? And then you'll see, you scroll up and it's found. And you see sometimes the kiddos are actually holding the item. And it is, oh my gosh, it makes my heart just swell. It's such kindness. Do you accept things that are like gently used and then you can refurbish them, or how does that work?
Yes. So we always try to find new when it's possible, but typically these stuffed animals or comfort items are old and they're discontinued, or they're not manufactured anymore. So typically if we use like a site like eBay or Mercari or one of those, we will make sure it's in the best condition possible. And if we feel like it's not, we actually have this amazing woman who, I think she's in Michigan. We send the stuffed animal to her and she refurbishes it and washes it and restuffs it. And it's like a little Doc McStuffins. And she does a deep cleaning and then she ships it directly to the family. We've done that a handful of times, but for the most part, the quality that we've gotten has been pretty good, which is great.
That is spectacular. How did you even find that woman?
She found us. And that's what has been happening a lot. Like people, especially in the beginning, people were like, I can knit, I can sew, I would love to make this, or I would love to help with this. People are really just want to be a part of this project.
Whatever you can do to help, especially the kiddos. And I know on your website, you said your mission is to support families, schools, and communities hit by disaster and help replace lost items. So have you branched out now into more than stuffed animals?
Yes,
Oh my
yes, we
goodness.
have. And
You are busy.
I was actually just on a call with one of our wonderful board members, and we're talking about how we pivot our project into children's hospitals. I work in a children's hospital. I'm a child life specialist, and our work is really helping kids and families to feel supported and comfortable in the hospital setting. So yes, we have a bunch of different projects going on. Actually, I don't know if you could see this right here. This it's like a sheet behind me that I have framed, and it's basically, it says LSP, Lost Stuffy Project. This was from January of 2025, right after everything happened in LA. And I was like, I think this is the vision of what it's going to be. It's going to be this program and this program. So now all of these things are kind of coming to fruition, which is really exciting. So with the hospitals, we're going to try to support kids, of course, kids who've been through a traumatic experience.
Right.
We're going to be replacing their stuffed animals, and then maybe also sending them a very specific stuffed animal that will help support them during their treatment or during their hospitalization. So that's one piece of what we're doing. In terms of the schools, so when we were out in LA, we got to visit a couple of schools, and there was one school, Woodbury Village Preschool, where we visited, and it didn't burn in the Eaton fire, but there was so much smoke damage. It was a miracle that it's still standing, but there was so much damage that they had to get rid of every single toy, every piece of furniture, everything that these kids knew. Oh. So these kids a lot of them had lost their homes, and they were coming back to their school, and thank God it was still standing, but it had none of their familiar toys or furniture or anything. It didn't look like their classrooms. So we were able to, the school put together an Amazon wish list, and we cleared it out. And yeah.
I'm sorry, that just made me so happy.
Yeah, that was really exciting. And the best part about it was they had this like 6 foot tall stuffed giraffe in their school. And it was like something that the kids would go and get a hug from if they were having a hard day. It was in the office of the school. And it was obviously destroyed by smoke damage, and that was the first thing that we replaced. And they sent us a picture of one of the kids hugging this like 6 foot stuffed giraffe. And it's not about, and this is what the whole charity, it's not about like just giving someone something nice or something, that you think is special. It's about replacing the exact item. Mm-hmm. Because that is where the comfort and the familiarity and kind of the normalcy comes in. Like if that child had walked in and there was a stuffed elephant that Lost Stuffy Project had provided, like, okay, that's cool, but like, where's that giraffe? Where's that giraffe that I've seen for the last 3 years in this office that's gone? So like, it's really about giving kids specifically items that they're missing. So that's kind of why that piece is so important.
That is such a great point that I didn't think of, is that, losing their homes, the floods, the fires, all the things that these kids have gone through, all of the familiarity is destroyed. So going back to school where they feel the comfort of seeing their friends and their teachers. But if you had all new, even, desks and things that didn't look anything like before, and then they also didn't have any of the toys they used to have, and they didn't have, like you said, that one thing that every kid knows is in the office. I'm having a bad day. I'm going to go hug that giraffe. And finding the exact one, the importance of it, that is crucial, because no matter what else has gone on, they can walk into that office and know that that giraffe is there, and maybe everything else will settle down too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Precisely.
You are definitely a child life specialist. That is the perfect job for you. I can see how your brain has worked and how this is all clicked together. It makes so much sense. Child life specialists are angels on earth. You are angels on earth. You are making such a difference every single day. And I don't know how you have found the time to not just do that, but you're also a mom.
That's true.
And you have started this incredible project, which I know you have a team of people. How did you find these ladies to help you?
Yeah, I have an amazing board of directors, and I feel so grateful to be working with a team of all moms, which is very cool.
It's very cool.
Um, and most of the women on the board I've known. One is my sorority sister, who's a fantastic CPA, who's our CFO. And then another is a former child life specialist who I used to work with. And she has a fantastic organization that she runs that's about children's mindfulness and meditation. So that's been a really great kind of overlapping thing. And then our COO is someone I've known for a long time who's fantastic at making everything happen. Kind of, she's like my number two when all of this started in LA. And it's just been wonderful to kind of see how the organization has grown like with all of us. And then the last person on our board is actually a woman that I met through the Texas floods. And she just, it's so cool. She's all the way out in Texas, and she is so dedicated to our mission and just wants to help in any way she can. And she found us, and we just developed this great relationship. And then I was like, do you want to be on the board? So it's kind of like this beautiful group of women that everyone is serving their own individual purpose on the board. So yeah, I say this all the time. I was on a call and I said, like, I have a set of skills, but I do not have really anything outside of those skills. Like, I am not a math person. I am not like someone who can understand the financial pieces of this. So I'm so grateful to everyone else and their set of skills. I couldn't do it without them.
But see, here you go. You got the board of all moms, and each of you brings something special and unique to the table, and you're getting it done, which
Yeah.
I wish we could just have everybody in the universe hear this. Moms get it done. Moms get it done. And
We
if
sure
we
do.
can't do something ourselves, we will find another mom that can handle that part of it.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love that. We could take over the world, honestly. We would have world peace if moms were in charge. So have you ever partnered with any sort of a toy manufacturer, or is it just basically like grassroots social media supported?
So it is grassroots for sure. In the very beginning, we did reach out we have connections with Jellycat, which is one of the biggest distributors of, they're very popular right now. And there were a few other brands who we connected with who were able to help us with like particular cases. But there hasn't really been we would love to be in touch with Build-A-Bear. That's like our a pipe dream of ours, to be connected to Build-A-Bear and to be able to run events that are like kids who have been through traumatic events, to be able to like build new bears as like a new friend, right? In addition to receiving their comfort item back. But that's certainly something that we hope for, but we haven't. It's really been more grassroots.
I can absolutely see that happening in the near future, and what a great collaboration that would be. So I'm definitely floating that out in the universe for you.
Thank you, Erin.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that if you go to your website, and of course it's on your Instagram page too, you're featured on the Grammys, and Jonas Brothers are holding stuffed animals. That is adorable. How did that happen?
I have no answer. I have no idea. The producers of the Grammys reached out right when this is all happening and said we are featuring some, I guess it was like less than a month. The Grammys were less than a month after the fires.
Mm-hmm.
And they had just reached out and said, this is what we're thinking. We really want to highlight what you're doing. And we were kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't know, like, I had no idea it would be that big of a deal. I had no idea that it would actually be on the Grammys. Like, they couldn't say like, this will definitely air, but just getting to do it and getting it, just, we were taken so seriously. And that, I think, was like blowing me away more than anything. Like, this was just an idea that I had that started a couple weeks before, and then we recorded this thing for the Grammys. And then once I saw it like actually airing, that was like a kind of a surreal moment that like, oh, we really did make this happen, which is very cool.
When did you establish as an actual nonprofit? Because this has happened all this year, right? I mean, this has been a big year.
Yeah. I believe in March or April, we were able to get our 501c3 status. Yeah. So
That's so fast.
Everything moved very quickly, even though that's like a pretty long process. It did it really did move pretty quickly. It's been a whirlwind for sure. And I think back and I'm like, that was only like not even 8 months ago. And it just, everything's just exploded. We've raised so much money and we have so much more good to do. And as I said, like we know there's a hurricane right now, and yes, it's in Jamaica, but I'm sure there's ways that we can help. And like, I feel like my goal is to just try to like get into every like natural disaster and just figure out how we can help in each circumstance.
So you've said a couple times about Jamaica. How would you even reach out to people over there? And I love the fact that you want to help not just kiddos in the United States, but anybody that is in a disaster and needs help like this.
I don't have any personal connections to Jamaica, but I also didn't in California either. So it's really just about like finding the right people. We have 45,000 followers. So I'm sure somebody knows somebody in Jamaica somewhere that could hopefully help us get in touch with anyone who needs support. But there's also this incredible organization called Child Life Disaster Relief that actually deploys child life specialists all over the world during natural disasters, they're just phenomenal. And I've worked with them before. So it would be organizations like them who I would kind of just be begging for information to see how we can get in there. That's kind of what it is. Like during a natural disaster, there's the Red Cross, there's Salvation Army, there's all these resource hubs, and they function at such a high level that it's really about like getting to the right person to be able to be like, okay, I have this charity, how can we help? But people are obviously really open to sharing resources and supporting one another, because that's like the business we're in, is just helping people.
Which is like what Mr. Rogers' mom always said, look for the helpers, and you are definitely the helpers. This is just so beautiful. And I didn't even realize, you hear about the Red Cross, like you said, Salvation Army, all of these organizations that come in and help in disasters, but I didn't know that child life specialists were sent places that are going through disasters. I am so thankful that exists. Who knew? I had no idea.
Yeah, honestly, even there are child life specialists who don't even know. Actually, there was recently terrible flooding in Alaska. I'm not sure if you heard about it.
I did hear about that.
So they were getting ready for a deployment to Alaska. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. There are just, in these situations, it's so delicate, especially like culturally. There are so many sensitivities around these natural disasters. So Child Life Disaster Relief is really intentional and really, really specific with their work. So we don't just go into every natural disaster. It's really dependent on what is needed. When I actually went out to LA like 2 or 3 weeks after the fires, and I worked at a Salvation Army resource hub as a child life specialist. And I got to meet kids and families who were, honestly, they were waiting at a resource hub in line to get access to food, water, air purifiers. But it was so overwhelming. There were so many people there. And our role was really just to bring a little lightness to the situation and to support these kids that were just like there with their parents, kind of not knowing what was going on. So I would just go and do some play, do some artwork, and just kind of talk about like, oh, what's been going on? How have you been doing? And kind of just being there as a child life specialist, as a fun person, quote unquote, someone who doesn't have anything to do with like this resource space, just is there to kind of hopefully help you have a little bit of fun and help you cope a little bit. And that's our goal.
See what I mean? Child life specialists, amazing human beings. You are an angel on earth.
I'm just so happy you know about child life, because there are so many people who have never heard of a child life specialist, even people who work in hospitals, even doctors that have never heard of us if you don't work in the pediatric population. Yeah. And yeah, it's a really special career. I feel so grateful that I found it. And everyone I know who is a child life specialist is pretty spectacular. So yeah, I'm very proud of the profession.
What's remarkable about child life specialists is you not only make the kids feel safe and loved, you have a way of also making the parents calm and let them know it's going to be okay. We'll figure all of this out. You're kind of like social workers too. Just all of what you do is spectacular. In fact, just a quick example, when one time we were in the emergency room with our son who's having horrible seizures, and I knew he was going to be admitted, and I had everything packed, and I forgot this one little aquarium that he slept with every night. He was maybe one. And I was so mad at myself. I remembered everything. How could I forget that? And I was talking to a child life specialist, and I was saying how mad and she's like, Mom, stop kicking yourself. We got you. We got you. And she came back with the exact thing I was talking about. And I started bawling. And I said, when you said I got you, I just thought you meant like, well, we'll cheer you up. We'll cheer him up. Everything will be okay. Came in with the exact toy that I was kicking myself for leaving at home. So yeah, you are angels on earth. You make the worst moments bearable. So thank you.
I love what you said. I love that story for so many reasons, but I also love that it was the exact item. That's what made it special. Your son would have known if it was a different aquarium. He would have known if there were turtles in there instead of sharks, right? Like it's that familiarity, and that's how we make the hospital experience more comforting, is the exact familiar things that that make you feel comfortable, that little piece from home. Whenever I prep families for a surgery, I always tell mom and dad, like, make sure you bring that special blanket, bring that stuffed animal. And then when I go back into the operating room with these kids, we always bring everything. We bring all of the toys and the stuffed animals and the blankets back into the OR with us to make sure that that child feels secure and safe and comforted up until they fall asleep with anesthesia.
It's beautiful. I'm so glad that you actually are a child life specialist. I'm so glad you're explaining what a child life specialist is, and that people can kind of now look out for them, because you really do make any kind of stressful situation better for the whole family. So, oh my gosh, thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you.
All of what you do. I mean, you really are an angel on earth. I have been in awe of you since I found out about the Stuffy Project and thought, oh my gosh, this woman is so busy, and she found a way to start a whole nonprofit. And it wasn't just an idea, that would be a cool way to help somebody out. You acted on it. And this thing that you thought would be kind of neat and helpful ends up being that for so many. And I am so proud of you, Mama, for going through with this and pushing through to make it what it has become. And I think you're just going to get bigger and bigger. Wow. And I am loving the fact that you're surrounded by moms who have your back. And that is really special too.
Yeah, it really is. It really is so special. And it's like it's like this domino effect where like everybody who's involved feels so good about what they're doing, and then they want to continue to do good and just like kind of like pass it on, which is really amazing. And even if you're someone who follows the account who happens to be the person who found this specific stuffed animal, I've shared with people like, that was the one, you found it. And it's like, it makes their week. Like, it's like, oh my God, I was able to make this connection for this family.
What does that feel like for you when you're able to see a kiddo's reaction or hear from a parent that's so grateful for what you've done?
It's the same feeling of that child life specialist who helped you in the hospital and had the same aquarium. It's the same feeling of like, wow, I was able to help someone with something really specific during a time that they were struggling or their child was struggling.
That gives me chills. That's just got to be the best. I understand why you have this group of people who want to step up and want to help, because I'm over here thinking, okay, how can I help? What can I do? Can I contact Build-A-Bear? I'm like, my brain is going around and around too, because
I love that.
You're like a magnet too, though. You have such a great strength and energy and joy about you that I'm so glad that the universe is helping you out with this whole project, because you exude goodness. And it's really awesome when you see that kind of thing full circle. And it's so, so well deserved. I'm just
that's so kind.
Thrilled that you exist and that you have been so helpful for so many. And that is the best feeling, honestly, helping somebody and getting that reaction of, oh my gosh, I can't believe you found this. That has to be just changing the whole atmosphere of the day.
Yeah, For sure. The truth is that this it's like it exploded, but it was like a runaway train. I didn't have a choice. It was
Yeah.
going whether I was on the train or not. And I was like, you better get on because this is happening. And it was thrilling. It's still thrilling. I can't believe that this small idea that I had turned into this, but it's really spectacular. And I feel really grateful to everyone who is interested and is connected to it.
You are making the world a better place. You are absolutely the perfect person to come on my podcast because I am all about those that make the world better, and you are doing it. How can people help if they want to donate or follow along? How can they find
Yeah.
you?
Well, the best way is to follow our Instagram account, which is at Lost Stuffy Project. And there, if you're a family who's looking for their stuffed animal, you can fill out a very quick form, an intake form, giving us the information. If you're someone who wants to donate, you can also, there's a link on our Instagram page where you can donate. And if you go to our website, loststuffyproject.org, you can find out loads more information on what we're doing, our latest projects, and kind of what we're up to. And we have so many things coming down the pike that we're really just getting started. As you said, this only started in January. So we have a lot to do. We know that.
Well, I can't wait to see what's next. Yay. Randi Jaffe, you are a gem. I am so thankful that you had a little bit of time to catch me up on everything you're doing. I have such respect for you, and I wish you the absolute best.
Oh, that's so kind, Erin. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be on with you, be talking with you. And, hopefully some of your listeners are good internet sleuths and want to follow along and help us find the next stuffed animal.
We're on it. We're on it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Randi, child life specialist, stuffy finder, and all around amazing human being. I am so grateful that you took time out to be on the Feel Good Frequency today because you are doing incredible things. If you want to help out, like she said, you can go to their Instagram page. You should follow it anyway because it's so cool. It's such an uplifting page. It's so amazing to see these kiddos reunited with a stuffed animal that brought them such comfort and joy. It is Lost Stuffy Project. So you can follow them on Instagram, or loststuffyproject.org is the website. Just fantastic organization. And I'm blown away by all she's been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. I just, can't say enough good things about that. So if you know somebody that would be a great guest on the Feel Good Frequency, tell me. This is how we connect people. ErinO'Malley'sfrequency.com. I wanted to let you know that next week's going to be a little bit different because the 11th, of course, is Veterans Day. So I have a very special guest, and I'm going to put the podcast out on Tuesday next week, just for one time, because that is Veterans Day. And I want to make sure that this wonderful message that you're going to hear all about, and this great human who is helping veterans every single day, is featured on Veterans Day. So just so you know, a little special something for you next week. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for being here. Bye.